Hey y'all, what's up? This is Rosie. I just wanted to say real quick that y'all might be expecting me to talk about the Ed Gein series. I guess it's a series that's out right now on Netflix, but I didn't find out about it until after I had already recorded the audio for this video. I don't even have Netflix, so I haven't watched it or anything like that. Just saw a few clips on YouTube, but I hope you enjoy the video anyway. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. Hey y'all, what's up? This is Rosie, and this one is perfect for the spooky season. So, did y'all know that there are some horror films and even some songs that are all so distinctly different that you probably wouldn't know they are all based on one guy until you look at the deeper aspects of his gory, gruesome, disgusting crimes. And then you look back at the movies and listen more closely to the lyrics of these songs, and you go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I get it now. Well, let's get off into it. Edward Theodore Gein was born on August 27, 1906 in La Crosse County, Wisconsin. His parents were George Philip and Augusta Wilhelmine Gein, and his only sibling was Henry Gein. Try to remember that. Augusta was a religious zealot who raised her boys to believe that all women, all of them, were evil, demons even, except for her, of course. I mean, she's the religious one, so. She told her boys quite often of how evil the world was. She told them that drinking alcohol was evil, and their dad was proof positive of that because he was a violent alcoholic who often beat on his boys, beating them across the head, especially Ed, whose ears started to ring whenever his dad started to beat him. And again, she said that all women, except for herself, of course, were promiscuous and instruments of the devil. She forbade them from interacting with anyone other than each other and her. And it is said that they barely went to school, but I don't know how true that is. You'll see why in just a second. Ed was obsessed with his mother. And even though he didn't develop normally in society, it's said that he did well in school, especially in reading. That's why I said I don't know how true that was. So, on April 1st, 1940, George Gein died of heart failure at the age of 66. Ed's brother Henry started doing odd jobs around town to help with living expenses. And eventually Henry started dating a divorced mother of two and planned to move in with her. He was concerned, Henry was concerned about his brother's abnormal attachment to their mother, and he said some pretty bad things about her to Ed that Ed didn't quite like, and his reaction was shock and hurt. He was shocked and hurt by what his brother said about their mom. On May 16th, 1944, Ed was burning away marsh and vegetation on the farm, and the fire got out of hand, which caught the attention of the local fire department. By the day's end, the fire was under control, and when they left, Ed reported Henry missing. With lanterns and flashlights, a search party found Henry's unalive body lying face down. He wasn't burned or hurt in any other way, and so but it is said that he'd been dead for quite some time. It looked like heart failure. Even though it was reported that Henry had bruises on his head, it was never investigated, and the coroner listed asphyxiation as the cause. And please forgive my tongue. I'm reading this because I wanted notes, and I have I have slight dyslexia, so just bear with me. Augusta suffered 2 strokes in 1945, and she passed away on December 29, 1945, at the age of 67. With her gone, Ed was completely and truly alone in the world. He essentially lost the only love in his life and his only friend. So he was just alone. Ed was suspected of a few disappearances and quite a few crimes, but after taking a lie detector test, he was cleared of those crimes. But he was, however, found guilty of unaliving 58-year-old hardware store owner Bernice Warden, and her son was a police officer, by the way, and 51-year-old Mary Hogan, who was a tavern owner. Ed Gein mostly robbed graves, and he stole the bodies of women who physically resembled his mother. It is said that he made belts, masks, a corset, and lampshades and other relics from the skins of these poor unalived people whose bodies he desecrated. And he even made bowls from the skulls. Ugh, this is so disgusting. Why did he make masks and corsets, you may ask? Well, he wanted to try becoming his mother. He missed her. He wanted her back. So, I believe he felt that if he did this, he would bring his mother back. Now, I'm not going to state the way in which these things were found out. I'm going to put the link in the description of where you can find this so you can read it up for yourself. And I'm pretty sure there are books out there telling about it, so I'm not going to go deep off into that. I don't want this video to take forever, but yeah. So he wanted to try to become his mother, and when I heard that was what made me go, oh. So now you can see the connection between Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and even Silence of the Lambs, where Norman Bates wore a dress and a wig and had his mother's voice yelling at him in his head about the evils of women. And you can see why Leatherface was said to be based on the Butcher of Plainfield, where he wore a dead skin mask on his face. And even Buffalo Bill, who demanded it puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. And as a fun fact, side note, the way Buffalo Bill captured his prey was also based on Ted Bundy, but that is possibly another video. I haven't decided yet. Ed Gein passed away on July 26, 1984 at the age of 77 of lung cancer. And here's another fun fact. The Gein property was scheduled to be auctioned off on March 30th. Sorry, that broke my concentration. The Gein property was scheduled to be auctioned off on March 30th, 1958. And there were rumors and speculation that the place could become a tourist attraction. And the people of that town were quiet folks and probably close-knit, and they didn't want that to happen. So a mysterious fire took the former home of where Ed Gein did his horrific crimes, where he grew up and learned from his religiously zealous mother. And that happened on March 20th, 1958, 10 days before the place was supposed to be sold. When Ed was told about it, he shrugged and said, just as well. For years, people chipped away at his gravestone until the grave marker itself was stolen in 2000. Just as well. So, the songs that I was talking about before are Nipple Belt by the band Tad, Skinned by Blind Melon, Nothing to Gain by the band Mudvayne, and my favorite, Dead Skin Mask by thrash metal's Slayer. And honestly, after listening to Dead Skin Mask a few days ago, I came up with the idea to do a video about this. And then there was a video done on YouTube about it, and that made me go even harder wanting to do this. And just a few minutes ago, I was like, I better get some notes. And so here we are. And I hope you enjoyed it. Down below, you will find my Cash App, PayPal, and GoFundMe links to help out my family. If you would consider helping us out, it would mean a great deal to me, and I thank you in advance if you do. If you want to be a part of the tribe, hit the subscribe button. I'll be so glad to have you no matter what generation you are from. Comment down below on what you think of the crimes, what you think of the movies, and maybe even what you think of those songs if you listen to them. I will be glad to comment to you and talk with you in the comments below. I love engaging with y'all, and I have fun doing it, especially if y'all do it in good humor and just have some fun. But I'm going to go. I love you guys so much. Thank you for wasting time with me. Hope to see y'all on the next one. Bye for now.